Good day, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the HJC Podcast. I'm Ryan, your Saturday writer, your blog admin, and we have a full house here today around the table. Monday's writer Sean is here. How you doing, Sean?
Doing great. I know what we're talking about. We're in for a good show.
Tuesday's writer Ben. Ben, how you doing?
Good. Glad to be back.
Thursday's writer Justin. How's it going, Justin?
Not too bad. Good to be here with a pretty much full group this time.
Friday's writer TC.
Hey, what's up? Glad to be back for the second week in a row.
And Sunday's writer Steve.
The redheaded stepchild. Hi.
And, of course, the big news of the week is the Olympic jerseys coming out. I have a picture in front of me. I'm sure everyone has seen them by this point. Let's just start with, get this out of the way, general disappointment across the table, Sean?
Yeah, I'm at best surprised, and at worst, I'm astonished at what they've gone with.
Ben, disappointed?
That would be an understatement. I can't even begin to describe how bad of a reveal this was.
Justin, Olympic jerseys?
I mean, it's something new. They're trying something, but I don't think it's what they needed to try, and I don't think it certainly worked out as they intended.
TC, you got to love these jerseys, right?
And I can't wait to see them on a soccer field in the near future, but they do not belong anywhere near an ice rink.
Steve, maybe some love from you for these jerseys.
I would have turned to these like a piece of meat, so no love whatsoever.
All right, well, let's start with Team USA's jersey because they're the ones that actually leaked a couple weeks ago. We've seen the whole set; everything's official. The leak was legitimate. Sean, what do you think of Team USA's jersey and the whole explanation of the sleeve pattern that they gave, where it's inspired by the wings of a bald eagle?
I mean, I can kind of see it if I squint a little bit. I could kind of get it if they're moving really quick. You can maybe see it. It's just that's the only thing going on that jersey. The lack of a hem stripe, the lack of a logo for the most part. It's just, it makes the World Cup jerseys look great by comparison.
Yeah, good point. Great point. Ben, Team USA jerseys.
This touches on a trend I talk about a lot in my posts, what I call the no-show zone, that area on between the arm and the torso, and that's basically where all the excitement is on this jersey. I mean, you take that away, and what you have is basically a practice jersey. I mean, this isn't something I want to see my country wear, not at all.
Maybe a practice jersey would have been better than what they came out with. Who knows? Justin, thoughts on the USA jersey and what you saw?
I mean, if the world thought like Nike's marketing guys, we'd be in great shape. Unfortunately, we don't, and we don't see the joy that they seem to have for their own jerseys. So it's just a big negative on all three.
Yeah. TC, Team USA's jerseys flying with the Eagles at the Olympics. What do you think?
I think it's sort of a lame excuse they gave because it's something they came up with after the fact. Like half of the other teams have the same pattern in the same exact colors, like with the white there. So they just found something that they thought would sound patriotic and good to excuse the fact that they're using essentially the same pattern for every team and just switching up the colors and how far along the sleeve it goes.
And Steve, wrap us up with the Team USA jerseys.
I think they just got lazy in their explanation because Nike just said, let's do a template for the Olympics. And let's make up a BS excuse for all of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at Team Canada and Team Korea and Team Finland, I guess Team Japan too, they're all wearing the same template. Germany, I think Canada described the design as inspired by the edges of the maple leaf or something like that. Korea went with paper origami as a description for their jerseys. Anyways, let's go to Team Canada and what we saw. I was excited when I saw the logo on the merchandise. But now that the jerseys have come out, there's just no way that I can get behind this jersey. Sean, Team Canada jerseys.
I'm a little pleasantly surprised by it. 2014 jerseys weren't great. The black alternate was the best of them, and that was a script jersey. Again, this year, I think the black is the best jersey. I do like that, the logo isn't built into a chest stripe. The script under looks okay. It looks like a natural progression from what we've seen, and given what it could have been, it's all right.
And Ben, Team Canada jerseys, 3 of them.
I'd say it's only a slight step up from the United States, but I mean, really, how many colors do you need on a Team Canada jersey?
There should be 2, just 2.
Exactly. I'm not a fan of how that shoulder looks. I don't like that cut on the side. I much prefer something like Vegas or maybe like Detroit or Pittsburgh. Overall, not a fan of this.
Mm-hmm. And Justin, your thoughts on the Team Canada, the 3 jerseys that we saw?
Yeah, for a team that should be just red and white, they can't even do just red and white. There's probably like 3 or 4 different reds in there just because they're trying this new flicker film and making the logo shiny, and it looks like a cheap knockoff or a replica even, and it just doesn't. The fact that you're going to have an Olympic team go out in this is just frustrating.
Interesting with the logo choice too. They usually like to outline their logo in gold, and sometimes they give the excuse of that represents the success that they've had or their goal at the Olympics. But it's actually silver that's in the main logo on the red jersey at the Olympics. TC, your thoughts on Team Canada jerseys?
I actually agree with you. I really liked the logo when I saw the team. Of the 3, I'd say the white is my favorite. It's got the least amount of black. I wasn't really surprised at all to hear that our good boy Jets liked the black jersey. But yeah, the red one, honestly, it isn't that bad, except for the fact that there's really no need to have black in the color scheme for Canada. The red and the white pretty much covers it. It's a fantastic color scheme, and they should just stick to it.
Yeah, black pants, black gloves, black helmet with Team Canada. That's fine by me, whatever. But yeah, it's got to stay off the jersey. Steve, Team Canada jerseys.
I feel like if they would have toned down the black, it might be kind of redeeming, minus the design-wise, but the black just overdoes it.
Yeah.
You know.
Now let's go to some other interesting designs. Let's start with the country that continues just to give the middle finger to Nike and other jersey manufacturers and does things their own way. Team Sweden not putting up with any of this triangular template crap and just doing a basic yellow jersey, and you would have to assume they have a blue jersey as well with 2 stripes on the arms. Sean, what did you think of what Sweden did here?
I think it's actually my least favorite of the 3 Scandinavian countries. And that'll tell you that, of the ones we've seen, Norway and Finland had probably the best, I think, at least. But, what do you expect from Sweden? They've been wearing the same thing for close to 20 years now.
And good for them. I appreciate the fact that they just aren't putting up with this shit from Nike. Like, why should they, Just going back to Norway. TC, I know... TC, what are your thoughts on the Norway jersey? Because we had a close-up look, and they have a sublimated ship on the front. They have some sort of arm stripes, but also based on the triangular pattern.
I was pleasantly surprised when I first saw the image. I hadn't leaned in, so I was a little disappointed. I do like the fact that the sort of weird template zigzag thing is only relegated to the upper arm instead of spanning the entire thing. And I think that the sublimated Viking ship is a fantastic touch to it. And I'm kind of glad that they've moved away from the polar bear, because I think that this fits much better with the Norwegian identity.
Ben, if you could pick a jersey out of the group, maybe the biggest positive out of the group, which one would it be?
I think the biggest positive is Sweden, for the reasons we've all been talking about. Sweden said, no, we want to wear an actual hockey jersey, and it looks like that's what they got. I could critique it. I think it's a little too simple, especially with no hem stripe, but I mean, out of those 13, I would say that's the only one that actually looks like a hockey jersey.
If I had to pick one out of the group, I think I enjoy Germany's the most, and I actually like that they're embracing a yellow jersey with black shoulders. Justin, if you could pick one out, which one would it be?
Yeah, I'd say it's not in the picture that's on our store, but I really like Japan's black jersey. I think, I don't know, for a team that's not really as well known in the international hockey community, it's not as frustrating to see Nike just kind of do this kind of cut construction paper look on the arms. I think you're not going against tradition because Japan hasn't really established anything, so I think it works for that kind of a team that's trying to make an impact in some way, shape, or form going forward.
How about you, Steve?
I'm going with Sweden.
Sweden.
They literally gave the middle finger to Nike, and I just think that's great because Nike did such a terrible job. We need someone to tell them how it is. So,
and if I'm going through the batch, I'm looking at Slovenia's jersey, and really, it just looks like the jersey looks like they're just happy to be there, and they would take, and they should be. They should just be happy to be there because I don't think they're going to do too well without Andrzej Kopitar. But the jersey gives off that vibe. Nike came to them with smiling faces and showed them the jersey. Here's what we're going to do. And the committee just sat there smiling like, yes, this is fantastic. The way I put it is pretty much Nike is a cat that brings its owner a dead mouse thinking it's done a fantastic thing. And we're the owner and we're sitting there looking at the dead mouse just absolutely disgusted. Sean, if you had to pick the worst jersey out of the batch, which one do you pick?
It's a tough one because there are two really bad ones of them, and that's Russia and the Czech Republic. Russia, if they're going for the jersey's blank, but it works into the gear, okay, maybe. The Czech Republic's is just a blank red jersey with a little scribble. It literally looks like someone took a marker and scribbled on the arms.
It looks like the sound waves that I'm looking at right now in front of me. It looks like sound waves.
It's not a good design to go with. And the problem is that it's really hard to mess up a Czech Republic jersey, but Adidas did it in the World Cup, and now this. That's two consecutive international tournaments in which the Czech Republic has had arguably the worst jerseys in the tournament.
Well, like we said before, these make the Adidas jerseys look like gold. And I know there was a post on Twitter by Barstool Sports, and he just went off on how easy it should be to make a Team USA jersey look good. Anyways, Adidas actually liked that post of him ragging on Nike jerseys, so that's pretty interesting. Ben,
they tweeted back at him too. They were just like, well, yeah. And just essentially said it should be expected from Nike. So I think that was really good on them to kind of pull themselves into the narrative and show that they've done something decent with the same kind of canvas.
Get the white elephant in the room of how Nike likes to think that they're trendsetters, but when it comes to hockey, they failed over and over and over again, and yet somehow they think that they can still try.
Yeah, well, when the design is left up to Nike, it's just been a failure. I mean, just looking at Team Canada jerseys alone, 2002 was solid, 2010 was solid, but the rest has just been absolute trash. Ben, if you had to pick out a piece of trash from this pile, which one would it be?
No question in my mind, it's Russia. I mean, it's a practice jersey. Plain and simple, that's what it is. And if you actually go to the explanation on the Nike News website, they have a paragraph explaining the Russia jersey, and the very first sentence is, well, on the surface, it might look like Russia seems unfinished. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. You give them a practice jersey. And then they went on to talk about how it was supposedly connected to the Big Red Machine. And well, if you actually look at the jerseys from the Big Red Machine, it's red and white, and they use the white in patterns. Like the famous 1980 game, they had those diamonds around the hem, and that's what gave it its interest. Not just a block of red. This is like the Starbucks cup, only worse.
Maybe if they wanted to bring back memories of the Big Red Machine, or just bring back memories of a hockey jersey, maybe we could have gotten some arm stripes and hem stripes. It's not difficult.
I mean, the Big Red Machine, those were ornate. I mean, there's just nothing on this one.
No, there's nothing.
I don't see the connection.
And I haven't seen the white one yet, but I guess we assume it's going to be all white, or maybe.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
Red yolks or something. You'd have to think they're going to add something there. Justin, pick out the worst piece of crap out of this pile.
I would say Czech, because I somewhat buy the Big Red Machine narrative. I guess I'll give them credit for trying to pull from history, but with the idea that the arm stripes are just scribbled on. I think it's weird because the one jersey that has just a blank clean yoke, and then when you contrast that with just the throwing on the angled blue arm mess that you have in the upper arm, just the contrast doesn't work at all. It just looks like someone like left a pen in their arm pocket and just let it bleed out on the jersey, and it's silly.
How about you, TC?
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say Switzerland, because at least like with the Czech Republic, they have that white yoke, but with Switzerland, it's literally just a red jersey with that white scribble, and it's even less than what they have on the Czech Republic, and it's just kind of boring.
And Steve?
Russia.
It's unbelievable. Let's review some of the points. I took some of the bullet points that Nike was trying to sell us here on what they were trying to do with some of these jerseys. They were going for lightweight everything. They saw what Adidas was doing. So one of the points is a shift to single layer laser perforated numbers instead of layering up all that heavy twill that they applied
what
by
Adidas
heat.
is doing.
Pretty much, except they're admitting right here in their bullet points that they're heat press numbers. They are not stitched on, which are going to increase breathability and articulation. Again, that just sounds like a big pile of crap, and also a way to make the jerseys cheaper and still sell them for $160. They also are doing away with large, heavy, centered crests in favor of small, intricate badges, and which has reduced weight and will result in better articulation for the athletes. There's another 6 points which continue on with this crap. Another one of the points was a new blade swoosh logo, inspired apparently by a hockey skate. It looks to me like it's inspired by Adidas NHL shield. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read through the points. Sean, just an overall impression of what Nike is trying to force down our throats here.
I mean, we were all concerned about Adidas messing everything up in the NHL. You know what? Messed up a couple things, but they're doing all right. I'm wearing a Golden Knights authentic jersey right now. This is a decent product. I'd say it's worth it. I am not going to spend a cent on an Olympic jersey. It really is like the kid behind you in class who you know is failing and they're peeking over your shoulder. So you write a couple wrong answers. And Nike took those long answers, hook, line, and sinker, and we get these. I maybe buy, I blame the San Jose Sharks for the breathability and stuff like that with taking the hem stripe off the jersey. So, that's their fault. But the logo thing, I mean, you have to really mess up a jersey or be the Atlanta Thrashers for a crest to be in the way.
Yeah, it's a little
too soon.
R.I.P. Thrashers.
2011, never forget.
Never forget it.
Ben, what do you think about this verbal diarrhea that Nike is giving us?
All the reasons that they're just trying to cheapen their product and turn it into a glorified long sleeve t-shirt. I mean, seriously, I don't see the difference between a jersey and a long sleeve t-shirt at this point if this is what they're trying to push on us.
Yeah, it's just...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. One's going to be $150.
Yeah, exactly. Justin, what concluding thoughts here on the Nike jerseys?
I mean, it really hit me when you read through that slew of garbage they're trying to sell you. Is they're not selling a hockey jersey, they're selling a soccer jersey. Like, they're talking about breathability, they're talking about heat press numbers, they're talking about badges. Badges are a soccer jersey concept, not a hockey jersey thing. They're taking what's been successful in other sports, and I'll give it to them. They're good at soccer jerseys, but they've designed soccer jerseys for hockey teams at this point, and it's just silly, and it's just unacceptable, really, from a hockey design standpoint.
Let's go through a couple more bullshit bullet points here. Amplification of each team's colors through a cascading gradient. What the fuck?
And then they make Canada black and red. Like, you're not even using each team's colors.
Well, they try and get away with that one by saying an expanded color palette that includes secondary and tertiary colors.
Why not?
So,
an expanded color palette. So I guess we're just throwing random colors at countries here. Here you go.
USA is navy and light blue now instead of just blue.
I'm surprised they didn't throw some green on there. Inspired by the green grass.
You look like Slovenia is the thing.
TC, some concluding thoughts of Nike and what they've done here.
Nike just needs to stick to what they know, and that's other sports. Like, they just don't have it together when it comes to hockey. And I personally have always thought that the Pacific Northwest is a social experiment gone horribly wrong, and the designs coming out of Oregon just seem to cement that. At this point, I would honestly rather wear a black ice jersey that had been lit on fire than any one of these.
That's strong. Now, what if, Steve, before I ask my question, why don't you give your concluding thoughts, and then I'll give you guys something to think about.
I kind of agree with the fact that Nike tried to take all their Nike soccer designs and all the elements of the soccer jerseys, which has made them so popular, and helped them get all those contracts with the big teams, and tried to put into hockey, and it failed. But it's like I said earlier, they didn't learn anything from Reebok a decade ago. So
yeah, and also we do have to think about that. Most of the games being played at the Olympics, hockey games that'll be played at the Olympics, are going to be in the middle of the night for us here on the East Coast of North America, and maybe they're more taking this opportunity to appeal to the rest of the world, hoping that Russian jersey sales will be huge, or Swiss jersey sales will be huge, or whatever it may be. Maybe Canada and U.S. aren't the focus of this push, perhaps. Now,
I don't buy. I was going to say I don't buy that argument. The 1980 Miracle on Ice game in the United States was shown on a tape delay. Was in the United States, and they did not show it live. So I just can't buy that argument at all. Tape it, delay it, and put it on prime time.
I mean, most of the Olympics are shown tape-delayed prime time in the U.S. anyway, so I don't like it as a hockey fan that you're not watching it live, but it might be better to watch it on tape delay not knowing the result than watching it at 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah. Now, one thing, Nike gave us these templated versions. What if they gave us a classic template for all teams? What if all teams wore, let's say, in the style of the Chicago Blackhawks jersey, and just use their colors interchangeably? Would that work better for you guys, or would that be just as bad as what they've given us here, Sean?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just so glad. If you'll remember, there was a time when we were unsure who was going to take over from Reebok in the NHL, and Nike was one of the possibilities.
And thank goodness that didn't happen.
Just imagine, instead of red and black, that had a big Toronto written across it and the edge of the maple leaf going up the arm. Just imagine what they do to the poor Rangers. The only team that doesn't use a crest in the NHL full time. And they could imagine it, they'd straighten, it'd be like 1946, they'd straighten the crest, and, everything here would be done up to look like the roof shingles of Madison Square Garden.
That's fantastic. Ben, if they just went with a classic template, do you think it would be easier to swallow?
It would be so much easier. Nike has this ego. They look at the history of hockey, like 100 years, trial and error. You have teams now that it would be sacrilege to change the jersey, and Nike says, you know what? We're better than that. We're going to throw it all aside, and we're just going to push what we designed because it's the best, and it's just an utter failure.
It's funny that Nike seems more fearful of doing a classic jersey and far less fearful of coming up with a ridiculous, crazy design such as they have this year. Justin, what if it was a more classic template? What do you think? Would that work for you?
I mean, it would be bland to see it across 12 teams, but it's a hockey tournament, so they deserve hockey jerseys no matter how bland they are. So I think anything hockey related is an upgrade to this long sleeve soccer kit we have in front of us at this point.
I think I saw a post somewhere on Twitter that someone said, you know what, these EA jerseys from like back in the day are better when it was just, the country's flag slapped on the front.
That would be better.
I would have preferred that, to be honest.
There were some beauties from that. I mean, Great Britain had the Union Jack on both arms,
Mm-hmm.
Japan had like circles all the way down the arms as well.
Those were the days.
So just bring in EA. Get rid of Nike. EA will do it on
I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It's not as far as I'd like to go, but it's something.
And then we'd have them in the video game. Awesome.
There you go. No licensing issues.
All right, we're going to move on here to we're going to play Fake or Authentic, which has now become a staple of our HJC podcast, all 5 of them, and this has become a staple. I'm going to ask a few questions. You guys give some quick answers. Fake or Authentic? Here we go. Team USA have the worst Olympic jerseys. Fake or Authentic, Sean?
Fake. Czechs by far. US is bottom 3, but it's like it's Russia, Czech Republic, and then you get in from the Fs, the F minuses to the F pluses, and the US is right there.
Ben?
I already talked about how bad Russia's is, so I'll say fake.
Justin?
I say fake. I think it's a real disservice to the history of the U.S., so I think if you bring that in, maybe it becomes a bit more authentic, but there's, as bad as the U.S. is, there's worse jerseys in the bunch, unfortunately.
TC, followed by Steve.
I'm going to go with fake because they're awful, don't get me wrong, but there's still a bunch of jerseys out there that are much worse. Like, it's not an accomplishment that they're not the worst, but it becomes a little more bearable. It's like being the world's tallest midget. It's not a real accomplishment, but it makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
I'm also going to say fake. They're in the bottom 3, like Sean said, but they're not the worst. I think Russia personally is the worst.
Okay.
Just because it's a secret record.
So that'll be interesting with our next question. Fake or authentic? I applaud Team Russia for what they have done with their Olympic jerseys, Sean.
Sure, why not? Give it. You know what? I think they're the first team since the 2009 Maple Leafs to do a jersey that had almost nothing going on it, that it was literally just the team color, and that was it. So you know what? Do it once, and then we can all point back and say, you know what? We tried it. It sucked, but at least we tried it.
Ben.
Fake. There is no excusing laziness in design.
Justin.
It's so fake. It's a practice jersey.
TC.
I'm going to go ahead and say authentic because I think what they were trying to do is pull what Sweden did, which is, okay, you're giving us this horrible template. We're going to do both parts of it in the same color so that it doesn't show up. So I'm going to go authentic.
Yeah, that's the Harold Ballard move. Steve?
Yeah.
I'm saying fake. It's like they didn't try. So.
All right. And fake or authentic, the look of the Olympic jerseys fits the hosts, Team Korea, very well. Sean.
I think that both Korea and Japan benefited. I'm going to say authentic. So yeah, so Korea and Japan, they came out pretty well with these. For teams that of Japan, I've only really heard of on the sledge hockey circuit and the women's hockey circuit, and South Korea just now getting into the top division. This is fine. They are far from the worst. In fact, they're some of the better.
Ben?
I'm going to say fake. These just don't look like hockey jerseys. I mean, I understand your country doesn't have a history, but you're playing a game that has history. I just don't see any reason to break from that.
Justin?
I say authentic. I mean, I think the lack of history gives them some wiggle room. Again, it's not what I'd like to see, but they're a new team. Why not jump in guns blazing and just jump on the template and see if you can make an impact and give yourself something to stick with going forward.
TC?
I'm going to go with authentic in that I don't really know if Korea knows what hockey is. So they probably think it's fantastic.
I think they're filling up their team with some third or fourth rate Canadians. Like, we recently had the Australian League competition, I'm sure there will be some players from there who will like play on the Team Korea team. Steve.
I'd say authentic, because being that they don't have a history, I think Nike probably took a little bit more time and a little more sympathy and said, okay, you guys run wild with this. So I think they added their own little thing into it.
All right. Fake or authentic, I will purchase a 2018 Olympic Nike jersey, Sean.
You know what? If it's a Finland jersey and it's on the sale rack, fine. If it's not the stupid printed crap that we're going to get on the fan jerseys, I might get a Canadian black jersey because black jerseys are awesome. So I might get one of those.
Boo.
Ben.
Oh, this is so fake. I am not paying $200 for a long sleeve T-shirt. No way.
Going back to Sean, what would the price have to be on the sale rack for you to pick up a jersey?
$100.
Wow. See, I'm thinking
Get it down to 180. Sure.
I'm thinking like for me to pick up one of these, a Team Canada would have to be on the clearance rack next February for like $39.99. Then I might actually think about picking it up.
You don't want a Justin Peters or John Michael Lyles jersey.
Canadian legends right there.
Two living legends right there.
Ben Scrivens is my guy. Mason Raymond, few former Maple Leafs here.
Oh, all the big names in Canadian hockey for sure.
It's going to be a great tournament. Justin, you will purchase a 2018 Olympic Nike jersey, fake or authentic?
I think if it falls into that $30 to $40 price range we're talking about, it might be willing to have for a collection just to say, look how shitty they did this one year, and I have this piece of garbage. Why not? I think it'd be something like the Dallas Stars Mooterist jersey of old, where it's something that really wasn't a good idea and maybe not have been the most well executed, but it's fun to have.
It's like when a Reebok Islanders jersey goes on sale by accident for $13 on shop.nhl.com, and you have to get one, and then you have a piece of garbage sitting in your closet that you just got to wear sometimes.
I feel so old. I remember that.
Sorry about that, Phil, if you're listening. Is Phil still a writer on the blog? I haven't heard from him. Anyways, TC, are you going to buy a jersey?
Probably not.
No, not at all.
No, they would have to pay me to wear one of those.
You should email Nike.
Brian
Steve, fake or authentic, you're going to buy one of these Nike jerseys.
Sean, can you tell all the people what I'm doing right now?
Steve is currently flipping his camera off.
Twice.
Twice.
You'll never see one of these unless I'm probably inebriated.
So we'll put Steve down for a solid no. Okay.
I just want to bring up that, sale rack wise, to give you an idea, a Jonathan Bernier Leafs Edge jersey at its lowest I saw was $40.
Yeah, I got enough former Leaf goalie jerseys in my closet. Michael Telkvist, who just retired yesterday, Jonas Gustafsson, Felix Potvin. That one's a little more excusable. I would love to have a Jeff Reese in there, but that's a story for another time. So as we've talked about, these terrible Nike jerseys have kind of made the Adidas jerseys look even better than what we previously thought. So fake or authentic, overall, the Adidas NHL jerseys get a thumbs up. Sean?
Authentic. Take out Ottawa, Nashville, and Washington, and leagues looking a whole lot better in 2017 than it did in 2007 when Reebok took over, and even what it took over from. This is the best the NHL has looked, I'd say, in close to 20 years.
Ben?
I'll have to say fake. You said we have about 10 teams that got changes last offseason. I think half are good, half are bad. If you look at the 20 that didn't change their design, I think they went down anyway just because of that stupid collar. So I would say this is fake, but just barely slightly.
I'll reluctantly say authentic. I'll slowly put my thumbs up for Adidas. Justin, fake or authentic? Adidas gets a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll strongly say authentic. I mean, I think outside of the collar, they did a much better job than Reebok did. Reebok seemed to say, you know what, let's just stamp the template on as much people as we can and see what we can get away with. Here, Adidas had the smarts to leave well enough alone for a good majority of the league, and I think anytime you can escape a league-wide rebrand without changing up the looks of the iconic teams, and even beyond that, some of the younger teams that are established in their look, I think it's a big win across the board.
TC, fake or authentic?
I'm gonna say authentic. It's been growing on me. Again, the Pentagon on the collar is a nightmare, but I was expecting a lot worse from Adidas, and this Nike Olympic fiasco has shown me that it could have been a lot worse. So I say authentic.
And Steve?
I'm going to say authentic because we all were expecting the worst, hoping for the best when it came to Adidas. And with Nike, it's just like, oh, let's see how bad they can get. And for some reason, Nike never disappoints when it comes to bad jerseys. So Adidas, yeah, they've learned from Reebok. Nike, on the other hand, no, they stuck their noses in the air, gave the middle finger, and just said, we're doing our own thing.
All right, let's switch gears quickly here and move over to the NHL. We'll go through our favorite teams, give a quick update. We'll go around the league here and just give a quick update of how your team's doing in the first month of the season. I'll start with the Leafs. Leafs sit at 8-6 as of this recording. Defensive woes continue to plague them. It seems like the team can't commit to a team defense concept, which seems like a pretty big problem as far as where I'm sitting. Their offensive talent can sometimes hide those issues. So as long as the Leafs continue to do that, which isn't a good formula, they'll be okay. But they got to fix their team defense. Sean, Winnipeg, give us a rundown of where they're at this season so far.
They had a rocky start. Obviously, Steve Mason has been a massive dumpster fire so far, but Connor Hellebuck has stepped up. He is currently working his way to replacing Andre Pavlik as the best goalie the Jets have ever had. The scoring's there. The defense is not as bad as it usually is, considering the fact that we still have Tobias Enstrom and Dustin Byfuglien. And at 7-3-2, you can't complain in a Central Division where you have to play Chicago, Minnesota, Dallas many times a year. So right now, they're on track, I think, for a top 3 finish in that division.
I'll correct you on one thing. Steve Mason has been absolute friggin' dog shit this year. Ben, Detroit update.
Yeah, they're doing about as well as I expected. They're 6-7-1, not really even a bubble team. I was hoping their strength would be in Jimmy Howard, but he's only at a 2.53 goals against average. They're 17th in defense. And as expected, the offense is atrocious. They're 27th in scoring. Guys they depend on are really underperforming. Gus Nyquist, 7 points in 14 games. Thomas Tatar just got a big new contract. He only has 5 points. Franz Nielsen, 14 games, 0 assists so far this season. And then their quote-unquote big signing this offseason is Trevor Daley. Gets 22 minutes of ice time a game. He has just 1 point, and his plus-minus rating is the worst among any Red Wings defenseman. So moving forward, I'd expect a lot more of the same. Not good enough to get past March, but not bad enough to match the Coyotes. Just this sad, lifeless middle road of mediocrity.
Now, Justin, I know Pittsburgh is your team. I know Steve, Pittsburgh's also your team. Justin, are you able to give us a Dallas update or maybe another team? Or if you're playing on Pittsburgh,
I can be the Dallas guy for the night, no problem.
All right.
I think Dallas is really exciting to watch now. I think they're definitely improved. Their record isn't as nice as I'd like at 7-6-0, but I think they're a team that they have a lot of new faces around. They got Hansel, they got Radulov, they got Mathat, they got Bishop. So there's a big learning curve amongst the team, but I think they're really coming together, and they really have that top line that can go up against pretty much any top line is the best top line in the NHL between Ben, Seguin, and Radulov, and you're going to be scary on offense, which is something I wasn't sure the Stars could do. You're beefier on defense, and then you've really got kind of the goaltender situation righted now that you replace the block of switch cheese that is anti-Niemi with Ben Bishop, and you're really any step away from Niemi's in the right direction. So,
and I think the holes on the Swiss cheese have gotten bigger this year. So
somehow
that's a good thing that they got rid of them. TC, why don't you go ahead and give us an Atlanta Thrashers update? How are they doing this year?
Atlanta Thrashers this season, which I think is a testament to the strength of the organization.
All right. Oh, no.
How's Passy Nermanen?
They're the only undefeated team left this year, so you got to give them credit for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but we're just excited to be here.
Ray Ferraro's on pace for a tremendous season. All right, Rangers, go ahead, TC.
The Rangers have been on the ice this season. They've been playing in games. They have been wearing uniforms.
And how long till their coach gets fired? Seriously, how long does he have left?
Seriously, how long until Zeno is out the door? I give it maybe till the end of the month.
Hold on. Baker Authentic, a monkey could do a better job of coaching the Rangers.
I don't know. I've met some pretty smart monkeys. They have taught machines, and I don't know if I would trust Vigneault to work a vending machine.
I want to see a monkey in a fedora behind the Rangers bench. That would be fantastic. And just losing his shit when they can't get it deep into the zone. Just the chimp takes the fucking fedora off, throws it down on the ground, starts throwing shit onto the ice. That's a great idea.
But they got rid of Darius Kasparaitis, so I mean, there's
Keep a sale.
Steve, why don't you give us a Penguins update?
When they're good, and when they lose hard.
I mean, looking at the Penguins, though, 5 of their 7 losses have come on the back end of a back-to-back, which they have 19 of. So it's
most in the league.
It's a frustrating year to be a Pens fan and watch them go through that.
And the goalie situation.
Hey, Niemi's gone. It's all good. It's better. It's not all good, but it's better.
Maybe Justin Peters can't play in the Olympics, or maybe Ben Scrivens can't play in the Olympics because the Penguins are going to sign him as a backup.
Pittsburgh or Vegas, one of the two.
Any player that performs well in the Olympics would have to clear waivers to come into the NHL, so that could be interesting.
Oh, Vegas won't do anything if they got to put a player through waivers.
I think as far as Pittsburgh goes, they just have to get to the playoffs, and then they can do some damage. So they should be okay. They'll make it. Now we're going to go to another HJC feature on these podcasts, the HJC Mailbag. All right. And our first question comes from FC Macbeth. And if your team, the one that you've supported for years, gets relocated, would you still support the relocated team? Sean.
Question for TC.
I mean, I kind of did that, when the relocation rumors started swirling around Atlanta. I was like, all right, let's see what those good old Thrashers are up to. But if Winnipeg relocated and Gary Bettman was commissioner, I couldn't cheer for that team because it was his own damn fault. But I think if I liked a player enough, and I do, if Nikolai Ehlers was still on the Quebec City Nordiques, yeah, I'd probably be a Nordiques fan or just go back to being a Leafs fan like I was as a kid. So, toss-up.
Toss-up. Ben, in an alternate universe, if the Detroit Red Wings get relocated to, let's say, Seattle, would you still be a fan?
Absolutely not. I think it's so much would have to happen for an original 6 team in a state adjacent to Canada to move. I just can't see myself following the team. I mean, I'm a Red Wings fan because I grew up in Michigan. I mean, that's the reason they just suddenly relocated like halfway across the country. I just wouldn't see a reason to like them anymore.
Justin?
I'd say yeah. I mean, I've felt a little bit of it this year with Vegas and Fleury going over there. I think he's just such a lovable guy and just probably one of the better guys in the NHL, if not the best. And you just there's players you're attached to wherever they are. I've become an instant Vegas fan. If I'm not watching the Pens, I'm watching them or the Stars already. So it's just having one player move versus having your entire team that you're attached to move. I think that at least for a little while those guys are still playing on the team, you'd more than likely be a fan of that team.
All right, TC, were you a Thrashers fan when they were in your neck of the woods?
I was a Thrashers fan. And I can tell you now that I have a deep-seated hatred for the Winnipeg Jets.
Just because the Thrashers moved?
Yeah, just because the Thrashers moved. There's no other reason. They're not good enough to warrant hating them. So all I have as reason is the fact that they are the team that was formerly known as the Thrashers.
So do you hate Atlanta Spirit or do you hate Kevin Cheveldayoff?
I hate the Spirit Group. The Spirit Group is the reason that they were never able to become an actual like force to be reckoned with in the NHL. It is the worst management group in professional sports.
And Steve, if the Penguins miraculously were relocated, still a fan?
Depends where they move.
What if they moved out of Pennsylvania and there's only one Pennsylvania team left? Could you switch allegiances and be a Flyers fan?
I would go to Columbus. I would rather root for the Blue Jackets than have to deal with the Flyers.
All right, Ryan, would you be an Ottawa fan?
Great point. No. I'd rather eat my own shit than be an Ottawa fan. Absolutely.
We all agree here the Sens are flaming dog shit, terrible team. Never had a likable player not named Marian Hossa.
They've never had a likable player. Never had a likable player. I don't like anything about Ottawa. I have a friend who lives in Ottawa. I went once to go see a game with him. He likes the Devils, so for that night I cheered for the Devils. And the Devils won, so that was awesome. But no, nothing. There's absolutely nothing good about Ottawa, the Ottawa Senators, or anything associated with those two things. Let's go to our last mailbag question. Coming in from Burka Circus. This is a pretty good question. Is it better to have only rip-off jerseys or no jerseys in your collection whatsoever? Sean?
I'd rather have no jerseys than a bunch of rip-offs. I mean, I'm going on, I think, 60 jerseys now. And if you took every one of them and made them a cheap rip-off version of what they are, I'd be angry, obviously, but it just feel wrong. I walk around and I feel like one of those guys who thinks they know hockey, and then they tell you that the 04-05 Stanley Cup winner was Dallas.
Ben?
Yeah, I have an interesting situation because when I first started getting into jerseys, it was from a friend who gave me the site that these companies in China that make the jerseys, they don't sell them all to the NHL, so they sell them online, and that's not the case. So all the jerseys in my closet right now are fake, and I think I'd rather not have them, those fake jerseys.
It's okay to like fake jerseys. Like, I have a fake jersey, but the story behind it is that it was my design for the Pittsburgh Penguins Winter Classic jersey, and the fools in China thought that it was the actual jersey, and they made it.
There you go.
And that's actually happened.
The one acceptable fake to have in your collection.
That's actually happened 3 times to me, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyways, I'm going to jump in here on this question. I think if you have a fake jersey, maybe 1 or 2, and that's your collection, for me that's okay. I'm not endorsing purchasing them, but somehow getting your hands on one, that'd be okay, because the prices that are currently set for real jerseys is just unacceptable. So I can totally get that people can't afford it and they have to go to the fake route. Justin, your thoughts on this one?
I mean, for one, I'll say 2 things. But for one, they just look bad. Like, if you know jersey design and you pay any attention to what it looks like, they're just wrong. Like, striping thicknesses are way off, color schemes are wrong. It's just pitiful. And then I think, too, kind of pulling from what Ryan said and almost disagreeing with him a bit, I'd say now is the time to start your legitimate jersey collection. If you go on r/hockey jerseys on Reddit, you can pull up a whole ton of people selling jerseys, and you go on eBay and stuff like that. Now that we have the Adidas rebrand, people are getting rid of their Reebok Edge Premiers and Authentics for $40+ and you can really, like, if you want to start a jersey collection, now is the time. Get some legitimate jerseys in your collection so you don't have to pay $30 for a complete knockoff, pay $40 for a Reebok Premier that somebody's worn twice, and really get your feet off the ground, and then pull into Adidas jerseys and go from there in the future.
That's a fantastic point. Now is a great time to start. And don't ever disagree with me again, or else you won't be writing. Just kidding.
Hey, I guess that's what happened to Beepo, but we'll see.
Would you rather have a collection of Fanatics jerseys or fakes? Now, we're all going to say fakes, but...
If the price was the same Fanatics, if the prices are as they are currently fakes, why not? Because you're paying $100 for a fake anyway, so...
I couldn't even bring myself to spend the money on a Fanatics jersey. I made a sale with the intention of getting a Fanatics jersey for a video review. I literally could not bring myself to spend that much money on that piece of crap. TC, better to have no jerseys or a collection of fake jerseys?
I don't know. This is a tough one for me because I have one jersey that is fake. It looks so close to the original. It's a Pronger Whalers jersey, but the collar is wrong. And it haunts me so badly. Like most people, anyone on the street, they see it, oh, awesome, a Whalers jersey. But the fact that I know that it's not real, I'm going to have to say I would rather have no jerseys than replace my collection with fakes.
And Steve?
No jerseys. Surprisingly, I have no fake hockey jerseys.
Ooh,
So,
your collection is pure.
It's ball jerseys.
I'm Steve. I'm so great.
Shut up. No, it's
That sounded like Steve. That was awesome.
yeah, you sound just like me. Honestly, I mean, the way things are going now, I could see why it's getting in demand, but you're solidifying the fact that it's poor quality that you're willing to wear instead of like when they were first out when you could barely notice any of the differences, and now it's just so blatantly obvious a 2-year-old can see it. So no, it's actual jerseys or not.
All right. Well, that was good stuff, guys. Before we do sign off here, I want to remind everyone that Jersey Casual shirts are for sale. Steve, are any new ones coming up soon?
Yes, actually. So the Fisherman is officially coming out, or it should be out as time of this. Also bringing out the Minnesota, their new green jersey. I'm doing a 60s yellow LA Kings jersey.
Awesome.
Doing a Whalers jersey. And for the specialty jersey, it's going to be a teal and white 1994 through 97 All-Star jersey.
All right, good stuff there. I bought the Anaheim one, Redbubble. It's through Redbubble. They do a great job packaging, and they're selling quality products. So if you guys are interested, go get yourself a Jersey Casual T-shirt. They're really cool, well put together. It's a fantastic product. And we also have HJC stickers available, and that's a sale through eBay. Both the links can be found on the blog. So get yourself some HJC stickers and some Jersey Casual shirts. Support the blog. Help us out. That would be awesome. To everyone who joined me today, thank you. Awesome podcast. If you want to know when these podcasts go up, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the podcast, the entertainment that we gave to you today, click the thumbs up. And if you want to join the conversation, leave some comments, both on the blog or on the YouTube page. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say on the topic. So we'll talk to you later. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And join us next week for another edition of the HJC Podcast.